Both times I feel like you, a little bit of a hiccup right down the end. You were serving at 4-5 and 40-15.
4-5, 40-15. Yeah. Was it? Yeah. Yeah, I missed a couple forehands in that game. I was a little scratchy all around, I felt like, from both of us. I came out, played a great game to start, but, it's always tough when you play someone you know so well, and he knows me so well, that you almost maybe outthink yourself a little bit. I don't know. It's just hard when you play a compatriot in the final. I think we're both nervous. We're both wanting to play our best, and, obviously, I would have liked to have just held my serve every time, and I would have been out of there, winning 4-4, but it doesn't really go like that. So, I'd say the thing I'm a little bit more disappointed about is that I couldn't quite keep momentum when I felt like I had it. And I had it in both sets.
Right.
And, it's unfortunate, and that's the way it goes. And it came down to, tiebreaker in the second. I actually thought I played a pretty good tiebreaker. So I had 1 point, did one forehand that I kind of pulled wide. Other than that, he hit the outside of the line, I think 3 times that I challenged all 3, and I didn't really think any of them, I was right on any of them. But, it was, he played some good tennis there. And, so that was, that was too good on his part. But,
the forehand shank in the tiebreak was really your only really bad.
Yeah, and it wasn't. Yeah, exactly. So but like I said, it just felt like I could have done a little better job of keeping the momentum when I had it.
You upset about that challenge system?
No. Like I said, I don't think I won. I didn't really have high hopes for any of them.
At that match point, what we thought?
Match point, I had the highest hopes of it. I actually thought it could be out, but that was a great point. I had a good serve, and I had a good forehand, and another really good forehand, and he just came up with a great shot. So give credit to him on that one.
You struggled with the net a little, did you feel today?
Yeah, it was
first volleys?
A little windy. He's tough because people don't give him credit for how well he moves. He's a big guy. He covers a lot of space, and he sort of reads the play pretty well. I've always felt like when I played him, it's a bit more pressure than he gets credit for how much ground he can cover. So he makes you makes you feel like you had a better shot sometimes. I didn't feel great, but also, some of that's due to who I was playing.
Presumably you didn't arrive expecting to get to the finals, so you must look at this as a pretty good week.
You never show up at a tournament hoping to lose in the first round. So, I've put together some good matches in the last, 8-10 months where I feel like when I show up at a tournament, do you feel like you're going to win matches against 2 top 20 guys? Maybe not, but I also don't feel like I'm just happy to be here. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm one of the last 2 players left. So, it was a good week. Just definitely disappointed not quite finished the job, though.
Hey Raj, when you played yesterday, you said it was 2 of the best sets of tennis you've ever played in your life. Mm-hmm. Is it harder or easier to come into the next match, particularly a final that way?
I think it's not easier or harder. It's nice to play well, for sure. But I think it was more based on, maybe Sam and the fact, like I said, we do know each other. We have a bit of history of playing against each other, and I think he's a good player. It's a tough matchup because he serves so well, and when he's starting to serve well, it's a hard thing to sort of keep your rhythm. But no, I don't think yesterday really had any effect on what happened today. It was just I didn't quite play as well.
Phil, you have a question?
At this point in your career, you've had, you're moving up, I guess, in the singles. Where do you see your game evolving now at where you're at? Is it, you've done well recently? What's been the change, and where do you see?
I think a number of things. You can't really point out one specific thing. Like I said, out there, I've been traveling with a physio for the last year and a half. That's certainly helped me, feel like it's helped my recovery process. Especially as you get older, you play a tough match, you want to show up the next day and have as fresh legs as possible, and that's important and stuff like that. So I think that's been one thing. Just paying more attention to that. I made like a racket change, and that we've talked about before. But I think it's just really identifying also the type of player that I am, and sometimes it just takes people a little bit longer than others to figure it out. And I think all those things put together, I'm hopefully going towards reaching that potential.
Are you playing the best tennis of your career?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, consistently. I had I think 3 top 20 wins, or I don't know what career was ranked, but close to it at least. 3 top 20 wins to start this year, and obviously won a title last year. And I think in the last 6-8 months, it's probably been some of the best. And even in doubles, I had won the biggest tournament I've ever won in Halle last year in Germany. So.
I just one more. You just said it takes a while to figure out what kind of player you are. What kind of player are you?
Well, I mean, I feel like it's just it's tough because you see other people and you kind of feel like, oh, you maybe think that works, and if someone has success and you feel like what they do is maybe how you want to go about it, but then I also have to realize what my strengths and weaknesses are. So I don't know if I can necessarily pinpoint it, but I know that I feel better about what I'm doing out there. I feel more clear about what my vision is going into each match. I want to serve well. I feel like I want to control the points with my forehand and really just practice that way to try and reproduce that as many times as possible.
Do you feel like you're the forgotten American? Maybe, I don't know, just because maybe your Indian name or you, because you've won titles.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day when I was walking out after one of my matches where I'm from, and I said Indiana, and they looked at me like I had two heads. So yeah, a little bit, but hopefully that'll go away as I keep doing.
I thought you misspoke and meant Indiana.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Kevin, so after the run of events in North America, what's your plan going forward? Are you gonna
you mean after Miami? After Miami's over? Yeah, I mean, I have to kind of wait and see where I'll be ranked. I do have to schedule smartly. I'm certainly not, as most Americans are. Unfortunately, we're not the best on clay. Sam's actually probably one of the better ones because he has won some titles on it before. But I want to make sure that I do play. I do give myself a shot there at the bigger events, but also realize what's going on and schedule appropriately. And also, the grass in the summer hard court is probably some of my best in the history and past history, some of my best times. So I want to be as ready for that as I can be. So whether that means taking a little bit, a couple breaks, whatever, just to be as fresh and as ready for that sort of stretch of the season, between when the French is over until the US Open's over.
2 grass court titles. I mean, expectations of Wimbledon someday to do really well there?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Obviously, I think everyone wants to do well at the bigger tournaments. But yeah, grass has predominantly been my best surface in my career, and hopefully I can keep going with that.
Okay. Yeah, and just following up on that, last year during the grass season you had to play challengers. Now this year you'll be able to get into the ATP main draws.
Yeah.
So that'll help.
Yeah, I mean I'll probably still enter some challenger events because, like I said, that's where I need to be paying attention to my schedule. I mean, unless I somehow end up at 20 or 30 by the time, but it's still a work in progress. There's still tons of players that people don't realize how highly they're ranked that they play challenger events to subsidize their ranking, I guess, or to stabilize it, I guess is the right word. It's not minor league, amateur league stuff out there. I mean, that's like it's real quality tennis. So it doesn't mean that I'm not going to play or anything like that. They're certainly very much in my schedule.
Seems like players in their late 20s and early 30s are reaching their pinnacle.
Yeah.
Many players. Is
Yeah.
that something you think about? Is that a natural progression? You reach that certain 2, 3, 4 years. Is that what's happening to a lot of?
I think
you see a trend in that
Yeah,
kind of thing?
I think tennis nowadays is so physical, and I think it requires you to be such a complete player that players, unless they're superstars, don't quite have enough time to develop to be really, really good at 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. I honestly just think it takes that much longer. I mean, you look at the guys at the top of the game, and they're so good. And if you're trying to say, if you're trying to have someone compete with them at 19 years old, they just haven't had enough time to get good enough. And I think that's the case all the way down. So if you're going to replace a guy who's 50 in the world, you have to be good enough. And it just takes a little bit longer. Yeah, it just takes longer.
Last question?
Thank you.
Thank you.